Hi guys, I'm back with another tutorial. This is another viewer request. I've been asked to do a tutorial for the Witeden 2x2x3 version 1 camouflage cube. First of all, please excuse my thumb, I've got a bit of an injury on there, so I've got a plaster on that at the moment. Now this is the version 2, not the version 1. However, as long as I don't do any of the turns like this that mess up the centre cubes by cutting them at the 3/4 point instead of the halfway point, it will work exactly the same way as the version 1. So I'm not going to do that when I scramble it this time. So it will work exactly the same as the version 1, as I said. Now the first thing to recognise about this is, although it looks like a 2x2x3 tower, it doesn't work in any way similar. You don't use any of the same processes to solve it as you would the 2x2x3 tower at all. You've got to recognise that this is essentially a bandaged 4x4. Now the way you go about solving this is, once it's scrambled, it will turn into a 2x2 cube, so you can solve it like a regular 2x2 Rubik cube. That will restore it to its shape, and then you've got to get these the little cubes lined up with the centre layer. But I'll give you more details about how we go about that once we reach that point. So first of all, I'll scramble it. There's one little algorithm you need to know to be able to solve this, and that basically what that does, if you see what happens when I bring this down, you can see that when I put this piece into the lower layer, it's taken this white, blue and orange corner piece, it's taken the green and red centre layer along with it, and that is essentially all one piece at the moment when it's scrambled. Now there's a sequence of moves you're going to need to know to swap that piece and that piece on the upper layer. Now when I say that piece, I mean the two pieces that are joined together at this side and the two pieces that are joined together at this side. So the white, blue and orange corner piece and the green and red centre layer piece, I'm counting all as one piece, and the same goes to the red, white and blue corner piece and the orange and green centre piece here. Now this sequence of moves I'm going to show you, we'll swap these two around. It will do some stuff in the lower layer as well, but we're not concerned about that. All we want to worry about right now is what happens in the upper layer. So if I do an R prime D prime R, L D L prime, R prime D prime R, you can see that what that's done is it swapped that piece that was there to there and that piece that was there to there. And as I said, it's also done some stuff in the bottom layer, but we're not worried about that at the moment. And that's actually a good way to go about scrambling these, to get these things all separated from the pieces they're attached to as well. If you do that a few times while you're in the process of scrambling, then that will get these things mixed up quite well in the upper layer as well. So that's not a bad idea. And once you've done that, you just scramble it as you normally would, and you can quickly see that you've essentially got a 2x2 cube to solve now, because in every direction now I've got one layer there and one layer there I can turn. That's all I can turn. On this side it's one layer there and one layer there, just the same. I'm rotating it that way and I've still got just two layers. So we've basically got a 2x2 cube. So that's exactly how we're going to solve it. I'm going to assume you already know how to do that, so I'm not going to go into any great detail about how we go about that. I would hope you're already quite familiar with how to do that. So what I'm going to solve is the white layer first. The reason being, as you can see, the white pieces have still got these centre layers attached to them. So even though this white layer is rotated, it's still attached to this red and blue piece, and that's going to be the case all the way around. As every move you make, that white, green and red piece is still going to be attached to this red and blue centre layer. So you can count those as one piece. And what you need to do is get the white layer solved. So if I do that now, and as we solve these pieces, you can see that the centre layer always comes into line as well, which is what we need at the moment. So I'll then move on to this white, green, orange, put that one in position, and finally the white, blue and orange. You can see that now I've done that. That's brought us, just completing that one layer has brought us back into the cuboid state. Now the yellow face isn't solved yet, but we'll leave that alone for now. The next thing we need to do is to get it so that we can match all these white pieces with the centre layer pieces to which they belong. Now you can see that if I put the white, green, orange in position, that's the only one that, oh no, I've got the red, white and blue piece solved as well, but the other two aren't, and there's no way I can just rotate these to put these so they're all solved. In fact, every position gives me either non-solved or two solved, as it happens right now. So what I want to do is rotate this top layer so that none of the upper layer pieces are matched up with the center layer pieces to which they belong. As you can see, none of them do right now. Now I can see that if I do a U-turn, I will match up the white, green and orange piece with the center layer piece to which it belongs. To the right of that piece I've got the orange and blue piece. So what I need is the white, orange and blue piece here next to the white, green and orange piece, so that when I rotate that top layer, the white, blue and orange piece will also come along. Now where is the white, orange and blue piece? It's around the back here, so what I need to do is swap it around until it's over here. Now the problem at the moment is if I do that situation where I just said having nothing solved and try and swap this white, blue and orange piece away, I'm actually taking it with it, this green and orange centre piece, which is what I want to match up with this white, green and orange piece. So what I need to do is do it while it's around the back here with this white, green and orange piece matched up. So I'll do that sequence. Here's the white, blue and orange, remember this was one we're focused on. So I'll do that sequence of moves I showed you before for twaddling the two corners. So if I do a R prime, D prime, R, L, D, L prime, R prime, D prime, R, you can see that I've put my white, blue and orange piece around here. And now we can go back to if I do a U prime, so that nothing in the top layer is solved again. Right there, I've got this white, green and red piece solved around here, so this is not going to work entirely. But what I'll do, I'll put that you can see I've got the white, green and orange piece is, sorry, it was white, blue and orange I had, wasn't it? So the white, blue and orange piece is solved, and I then need the white, green and orange piece here next to the white, blue and orange. So if I twist the upper layer so that white, blue and orange piece is no longer solved, do that sequence of moves again to put that white, green and orange piece there next to the white, blue and orange piece, and see what that does for me. So R prime, D prime, R, L, D, L prime, R prime, D prime, R. And if I then rotate the top layer so the white, blue and orange, where it goes into position, you can see that it then takes the white, green and orange piece with it. But the problem is I also swapped this green and orange piece around at the same time. So let's see if we can now get a situation where none of the upper layer pieces are solved, which is what I need at some point. There you go. As I say, I've got none solved there. So let's have a look what we can do. I've got the white, green and red here, and once that goes into position I'd need the white, green and orange next to the white, green and red now. I think this is going to work now, so this is looking quite good. So if I do this sequence move again to swap these front two, which will put the white, green and orange next to the white, green and red. So R prime, D prime, R, L, D, L prime, R prime, D prime, R. You can see that now when I swap the white, green and red piece into position, the white, green and orange comes with it, and lo and behold, as always happens, these two are now all matched up as well. So you can see that I've got all the centre layer pieces now matched up with the white layer pieces to which they belong. So from now on it's simply a process of solving it just like a 2x2 cube. When you're moving the pieces, make sure you don't split up the centre layer pieces from the white layer pieces to which they belong, but you can move them together as you would in a 2x2 cube. Now obviously we've spoiled the solve we had done on the white face while we were moving those pieces around, but that's easily fixed now, solving it as a 2x2 cube. So that's those two in, the white, blue and red is in, so the white, green and red is in position. That just leaves us with the yellow layer, which we can solve like we would the top layer of a 2x2, just do it the way you would do it. I'll use Soons to orient it, and anti-Soon, and then we've just got a edge swap here to do, so and to finish the solve. And there you go, that's how you finish this solve on the 2x2x3 camouflage cube. As I said, you don't do it in any way like you would the normal cuboids, which is something that's a little bit confusing about this puzzle. But hopefully that's helpful to you, the person that asked for this video, and anybody else who comes along unable to solve this puzzle. That's the way you go about it. It's not too tricky, it's just a couple of a new concept really in matching up the layers from the top layer with the pieces that are kind of attached to them on the center layer. But once you've got that idea, it's not too tricky to solve. Alright then guys, thanks very much for watching. I hope this is useful to you, and I'll see you next time. Take care now. Bye.